All right. I believe it's recording. So, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Solar Disco Force, I guess, Super Show. I mean, we could go with that. That's what it's called, I guess.
If you
So,
like,
sure. The show behind the show.
behind the show.
Yep. So, we wanted to do this podcast to talk about things on the road and other miscellaneous stuff that we just felt like talking about.
Answer
So,
questions from fans.
yeah. So, how is quarantine going?
Stupid.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Mm.
I stay in the house all day. I actually did something real fun. I went and got an eye exam today.
Oh, vision
Yeah,
still good, or you getting old?
Oh no, I'm getting old. They said my whole eyeball was star shaped. It was terrible.
Mm. I know the last time I went, they said I had astigmatism.
I gained another stigmatism. I leveled up my stigmatism. So,
I don't know if that's a good thing.
it's probably not. I had to buy new glasses. So I mean that's a thing. Welcome to the
Yeah.
Solar Disco 4 Super Show, where we talk about our eyeglass prescriptions. Yay!
That's the thing the fans want to know about. Ugh.
Lord. All right. So what's first on the docket, Professor Eclipse?
So the main topic of discussion is, since it's the first episode, how we became a band.
All right. Well, there's two ways we can tell the story, what was the way you were thinking about going about telling the story?
Well, I figured the show behind the show would probably be the real story and not the story that we put up on stage. Or we could do the stage version. It's up to you all, really.
We could do both.
We could do both.
Yeah, Porque no los dos. Groove gets it.
Okay. What do you want to go with first?
Well, let's do the fun one first. So I'm from space. And we have a website.
We do. That is one of the things that we're announcing today.
Isn't all this crap on our website? No.
It is. The story of how we came to be is in
our
About Me section.
So, you know what? I can even, just to promote nonsense, Solar Disco Force, promoting the website.com, solardiscoforce.com. Takes forever to load.
You can even share your screen if you want.
Shut up. No, then everybody's going to see my 47 tabs that I have open.
They might, yes.
I mean, none of them are like porn or anything, but, at the same time, like, nobody needs to know I keep 47 tabs open all the time.
Except for everybody knows now because you just said it.
Well, they don't know how bad it is. They just kind of know it's a lot, but if I showed it, it'd be extra bad. I'm from the planet Nisad. That's true. And one day, everybody's going to figure out that joke.
I know
one
it.
day.
I always figured it was just based off the word Nissan, like the car.
It is not.
It is not.
No. A vibrant planet where the oceans are purple, the grass is gold, and people voraciously love and care for the cultures that other planets have to offer.
Are you just reading what I wrote on the website?
Yeah, I'm promoting the website.
Oh, okay.
Concepts such as gender and race have no place on Nisad. Damn straight. Oh God, Groove Machine. Oh God,
Groove Machine started screen sharing.
Oh, okay.
I've got the website up.
Yep, that's us. You should play the video. I had to make a video. All those 3 frames.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Eventually,
when the whole planet isn't shut down for sickness.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, I'm from space. I'm from this planet where everything's purple and gold, which is a really interesting point I wanted to bring up because not a lot of people caught on to this. Comrade like my colors, like purple and gold, are like blue and green to y'all. They're very like earth colors, like brown and green. To me, they're not that special. To y'all, I am like the sexiest, shiniest thing on Earth, which is nice to know. I have to take a pilgrimage through space to experience I don't know. I chose to experience funk and all of the places where really interesting funk things happened. You're very good, Groove. An experience where all the funk things have happened. I was flying by Earth and I got hailed by a distress signal. Oh, by the way, I hired Groove to fly the ship. I don't know how to fly ships. That's not my job. So I got Groove to fly the ship, and we went down to Earth, and we met Professor Eclipse. And that's my story. I'm from space.
That is the long and short of it, yes.
Yep.
Yay.
I am from an alternate version of Earth.
Alternate version of Earth.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to do the thing. Okay. Well, so I was in a war against the lizards from Planet Top 40 on my own planet, where they had basically taken over the galaxy already. We were all that was left. So we ended up creating a multi-dimensional tool. And that's right. And then I traveled to this world, and there's no going back because my version of Earth is super destroyed and everything is awful there. But here on this planet Earth and this galaxy, universe, etc., is the second chance.
Second chance.
To win against the lizards of Top 40.
Top 40.
Indeed.
Glad y'all are drinking shit.
Well, I have a mouth.
I have a mouth. Look.
Well, there was that one time you decided not to wear the spacesuit underneath the helmet, and then
that is not what happened, and you know it. You're trying to make me look like a dork, and that's not what happened.
There was the mouth.
Yeah, there was a mouth. That's because we had to play a show out in like 85-degree weather in our full freaking uniforms. Ooh,
what was the other time that you didn't know?
When?
Like whenever you first cut the thing out.
I did that once, and then our fans were like, "Never do that again." I hate it.
Don't having a mouth is weird. I don't like that.
Yeah, and so I don't have a mouth. I mean, I do. I'm like a Muppet.
Mm.
Anyway, what's your story?
Groove machine.
I'm a robot.
001011001. What?
It's all back here.
Yep, but I'm non-binary, so.
Congratulations.
Yep.
But
Yep. Boy, I had a soundboard.
I know. Wouldn't that be? We should invest.
I mean, if we keep doing this, we can. But eventually, we'll move away from the Zoom meetings.
That's true. We could still get a soundboard and just have one for when we have it all together.
I just have to make it work.
No, we're not doing things on the fly.
No, I mean like next time. I have the Stream Deck.
Yeah, you do. That's a good point. Anyway, so your story is you're from space?
Yeah, no, I was originally a CD production droid for the Lizards Top 40. Something happened, and I basically started to say, hey, fuck your music, and putting my own music on their CDs. And I got shot in his face because I didn't like that. So I found an abandoned spaceship, took it as my own, and found everybody else.
And that's the story.
The short of it, anyway.
The full details of our creation are on the website, where you can find it at www.solardiscoforce.com.
www.solardiscoforce.com.
That's right.
That's right.
Groove Machine's sharing the screen. And it's in the About section. So you can read the full story there. I think it's pretty interesting. So, worth a read. We also have that shop section. If we're going about the process of peddling our wares, we've got stickers and CDs and T-shirts.
That's right. We sell things on the internet. And if you want things, including cute-ass buttons, we have things.
We do. We
also have vintage magnets.
Yes. The antique.
If you click on it, it'll say vintage magnet. Eventually.
Well, it has been a hot minute since Zome and Goron have been a part of the band.
That's right. Vintage SDF magnet.
Mm. Yeah,
Hey,
once those are gone, they are not coming back.
if you look at our individual buttons, I had to do all this for the website. If you go to our individual buttons, I was gonna have them say, like, I did mine first, and it was like, "Oh my gosh, Comrade Contra on a button," and then Professor Eclipse comes up, and it's like, "Oh my god, it's Professor Eclipse on the button," and I was gonna have Grooves just be like, "We knew where this is going," but I decided if you hadn't looked at the other two, it wouldn't have been as funny, so I didn't do it. Yep. Holy crap! It's Groove Machine on a button.
Mm.
There you go. Are we all glad we put me in charge of that?
So yeah, we have merch and stuff now, and that's cool. That we sell it online. I don't know how we get it to people. That's not my area of expertise, but
we in the mail.
Yeah.
This is not the first time we've mailed stuff.
Space mail.
Space mail. We just put it in like a tube that's like air pressure powered, and it just through space to your house. It's really cool.
Very slowly, though. Usually takes a couple days.
Or if we go any faster, it'll catch fire, and we all know how that goes. So,
yep, nobody likes things that are on fire. I think Groove Machine's going through the website. We're visually showing people what that looks like.
Yes,
that's not a bad thing. You can play songs on there and buy them on Bandcamp. Oh my gosh, it's copyrighted. It's gonna get kicked off. Yep. This sounds so good.
Yep. It's not really how it works. They'll have to listen themselves.
Yeah. Okay. So, other things on the docket. I was going to say something and I forgot what it was. That's probably how a lot of this podcast is going to go.
Well, this is the first episode. You got to give us a little bit of leeway on the first episode.
That's valid. We're feeling stuff out.
Yeah. It might take a couple episodes to figure out what it's about, what we're doing. But I think it's going well so far.
It's not going too bad. What do you want to talk about now?
Well, we talked about the way that we came to be in our reality.
Yep.
We could talk about how we came to be in the reality.
Oh. Okay. So, I'm going to lay this down as far as the timeline on my end of how stuff works.
Okay.
So, God, this would have been, it would have probably been 2017. And I'm sure it was cold outside. It was probably, I don't know, January, February 2017, maybe earlier. Groove sent me a message on the Facebook that said, hey, I heard about this band. I think you'll like it. I heard about them on the Game Grumps. And at that time, I was really, how do I put this? I was really down about music, like as an industry and what artists were putting out and stuff like that. And I didn't think anything good was going to come out anymore. It was all pop process crap. And, rock was dead and all this stuff, on and on and on. And then Groove sent me a message and I put him off. Because I click on this link and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I clicked on the link like a month and a half later. Because that's usually how that goes with me and him. Like, I got this video to watch. Anymore, he's just like, did you watch that video? Hey, did you watch that video? And I'm like, oh, fine, I'll watch the. So anyway, I woke up for work at 5 a.m. and I sat down with my coffee and it just kind of hit me all of a sudden like, oh, I should listen to that thing Groove sent me a thing about. And I clicked on it and I was immediately blown away. It was Twerp. I was immediately blown away. It was probably one of the best things I'd heard in a long time. I bought their whole discography. Lady World hadn't come out yet. I bought their whole discography all at once. Just whoop, like $20-something sold. And I listened to it all day at work and all that stuff. And it was fantastic. And then I was, I really liked it, but I was a little put out because they're from Canada. And I'm like, dang, they're never going to, like, they go to Chicago, but they're never going to come down here. Like, we're way down here. And then I was in Crazy Kyle's band. We can talk about Crazy Kyle one podcast episode if it ever comes back up. Groove laughs. I was in Crazy Kyle's band, and the drummer of that band was like, "Hey, Ninja Sex Party's coming to Nashville." Now she's like, well, they're okay. If I don't have to work or anything, I can try to get tickets for that. And then it hit me all of a sudden, like, wait, Twerp might be going to that. And if Twerp goes to that, I'm going to have to move heaven and earth just to get tickets for that. Like, that's what's going to have to happen. And then they announced it, and I moved heaven and earth to go to that show. It was at Marathon Music Works in Nashville. And that place was packed with people. I mean, wall to wall. That venue's huge, and it was packed wall to wall with people coming to see those bands. And I screamed like a little girl, and I shouted all the lyrics, and I jumped up and down. Gru saw me. He'll attest to that. All this stuff. It was
a video on an old phone, probably.
You probably do. And then they announced they were going to play at Exit In, and you and I dropped everything we were doing and went to the merch stand to buy tickets.
Yeah.
And we
Weirdly enough, I was at that show.
You were at that show,
but not with either of you.
No, we just happened to bump into you there.
Yep.
Like, I've known Professor Eclipse since high school, and I've known Groove since college. God, just give me. I'll be right back. I got it.
Oh, okay. They disappeared.
I had to scratch my nose, and that's a whole thing in this situation.
Rematerialized on top of the lips.
That's how it goes in the land of no nose. So whatever, we bought tickets, and then I got a hold of Professor Eclipse, and I was like, "Hey, I'm
Zoom
going, and I'm bringing Groove." Right. What?
So Zoom is not happy with you right now.
Oh, did it give up? Is it like mad? It was doing so good. Hey,
if you go back into your settings and re-click the background image, it should recognize that you have a body again.
This is great podcasting material.
It is. Technical difficulties. Wouldn't be a Solar Disco Force show without.
It would not be a Solar Disco Force show without technical difficulties. Okay, so I got a hold of Professor Eclipse, and then I got a hold of Zome. If I put my hands up, it gets mad. I got a hold of Zome, and I asked if he wanted to go, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll come check it out." And so we all rode in the car together, and we started plotting, like, what if we had a band like that? Wouldn't that be fun? And so we got down there, and we played the show, and we drove back, and we're like, we could do that. We could get a band like that. And it's all downhill from there. That's my end of the story. Someone else say stuff.
I mean, that is pretty much the story. There is the background story of us whenever we were in college. We had another band that we tried to put together.
I hope to God, please, if you say the name, I hope no one Googles it, and I hope if they Google it, they don't find anything.
I Googled it a few weeks ago.
Did you find anything?
I mean, it was probably months at this point, but the last time it was brought up, I Googled it, and it brought up the MySpace page for that original band.
Oh, no. I didn't see anything on the first page. We're good.
Okay. MySpace might have purged everything since then or something. But yeah, there was a band that we had put together when we were in college after meeting Groove Machine and etc. I
was the bass player.
Yep, and I played guitar.
Yep, and I still did the singing thing. It was terrible.
It was terrible.
it was.
I didn't know how to play the bass.
Yeah, there is no recorded version of you in any of our songs that have you playing the bass.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to play the bass.
I was teaching you. You learned.
Yeah.
But that band fell apart before you ever got good at it. So
we never even got to a live performance.
Oh no, we certainly didn't. This is the first band I've ever had that's been like my band, as opposed to like some goob. You know what? We're not going to go down that road. That I've played a live show with. I played a live shows in other people's bands, but not like a band that I was actually a part of.
Yeah, so, something that you can call like yours.
Yeah, this is our band. Yep. I'm not just the bass player and Goober Dude in the Doodle Booze band.
That's my favorite band.
I know, isn't it? Real tasty jams from Boodle Doo and the Doodle Boos.
Goober Dude and the Boodle Doos. Get it
Yep.
right.
You're right.
So yeah, there was that original band that we had in college that failed miserably.
Yeah.
And then I didn't touch music again until we became Solar Disco Force. I basically left the creating music side behind, like after high school and / that first year or so of college. And to attest to your all music kind of got crappy after a while, I think that just happens with age.
I think South Park made a joke about that.
I think so. Where everything's just shit.
Yep.
I mean, it can come with just depression or any of those other miscellaneous problems. But I think in general, people don't venture out of their comfort zone musically after they get their sound.
That's valid.
If that makes any sense. Because, like, for me, whenever I was in high school, I got really into, like, the emo music and then Coheed and Cambria type progressive, leaning into metal, but not quite touching it because I'm not a huge fan of metal.
I'm not either.
But then I hung out in that general vicinity, and then I didn't really venture out because even though new music was coming out from bands that are in those genres, I just didn't really care. Like, I'd hit that point where I was like, I like what I like, and his stuff is going to keep coming out regardless of if I listen to it.
But what about the Proto-Men?
The Proto-Men was my first year in college.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was still pretty early. And then once I started working at the comic store, I was forced to listen to new music because we had the CD section and we would always play stuff from the racks. So I was essentially forced to listen to new music, and that's where I learned about like the Fratellis and other miscellaneous not emo bands. And then like LCD Sound System was one of the bands that I heard about and learned about from working at the comic shop. And they're kind of in this genre, but they're like a proto version of this genre because they were around long before we were, or Twerp, or any band that resembles us. But yeah, so we did the thing. The Guardian and I went to that show that you were discussing at the first part of the story. We had the VIP tickets for Ninja Sex Party. I didn't really know about Twerp, didn't really care about Twerp. I was just like, it's the people who play with Twerp, or
I was the
Ninja Sex
exact
Party.
opposite.
I was there for both.
I know. I wanted to see Ninja Sex Party, but I was amped to see Twerp.
But I was more along the lines of, okay, Ninja Sex Party and this group of goobers that have big orange cones on their heads and shit.
Yep.
And then they ended up opening for Ninja Sex Party, and then I heard their original music, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then I liked them enough to go to that Exit In show because you said you were going to go to it, and I was like, well, if you're going to go, I don't have anything going on. So then I went to. The rest is history.
Funnily enough, but not really funnily enough, we met future like hardcore Solar Disco fans there. We didn't meet them, we saw them. I saw them. The Louisville people.
Oh yeah,
I saw them there, and I just kind of made note of those strange looking people over there.
I'm sure they'll appreciate that.
They will. They love me. And then I'd met them later. I was like, oh, I know you guys. You were at that show. Okay. So, Groove, do you have a perspective on how the band formed?
I mean, we kind of just did our own thing for a little bit when we were trying to pick out music and stuff.
What do you mean?
Period of time where Contra and I used to live together.
Yeah, y'all had the other band.
Yes. It just kind of
also did nothing and failed, and yeah.
Did y'all ever do a live show with that band?
No.
Okay.
We talked about it a couple times, but that's about it.
Because we had a couple guitar players.
We had a couple drummers. I'll never forget about the time we had a couple drummers.
Then I just became the drummer.
Yep.
The only experience I have with that band, y'all called me out of the blue and asked me to do a music video.
When was that?
It was whenever you were living at that house, and like I was just like, I
Okay.
can film y'all playing, I guess.
Groove, what song did we want to make a like Funk Bone?
Probably Funk Bone.
Yeah, it surely wouldn't be the other one. There was only 2 songs.
That and Victor Groove,
Yeah, Victor Groove. There was Martinis in the Dark.
which I still want to do something with, but
I don't know what we could do with it. We keep talking about what we could do with Martinis in the Dark, and it has to have the right sounding instrument, and we're not really that kind of band, and it's just I don't really know what to do with it yet.
it's such a good riff, though.
It is a good riff. I should have enough keyboards in my house to pull that off.
All I see are lips.
I could do that. Ooh, I could. Talk about carrots.
Carrots.
Carrots are
Orange.
Sometimes you can get purple carrots.
I've never had a purple carrot.
They exist. They're basically like a different kind of root vegetable.
Mm.
They're similar to parsnips.
I'm not a fan of parsnips.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not a fan of carrots really either. Taste
Like
weird.
raw carrots with ranch dressing.
Well, you're really just eating the ranch dressing.
You're not wrong.
Contra, we talked about carrots.
You talked about carrots.
I think we've said all there really is to say about them.
That's baloney.
If you eat too many of them, it'll turn your
Look at my
body
butt.
orange.
That's how you become an Oompa Loompa.
On. I don't remember. That's not how you turn it on. Power. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very warm in my office
I
currently.
have the Nintendo power.
You might want to poke your Zoom again.
What?
You
Your
might wanna
Zoom's
poke
gonna
your-
be mad at you.
Okay, give me a second. I'll fix it. Martinis in the Dark, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Share screen. This is great, by the way, for Solar Disco 4 stuff. Okay. Gotta get the Yamaha out. I hope I remember how to play it.
Were you trying to share the screen?
No.
Oh, okay.
Groove, I don't remember how it goes. I know that, but
So like the Mario Star music?
Not really.
well, this was entertaining to say the least. Can y'all even hear this?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not how it goes. I've written too many songs. Oh, that's how it goes.
It's cut
There you
out.
go. I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
It was cutting out a bit, but it sounded kind of like the
Ah.
Mario Star thing.
I can make it work. There you go.
It was a nice tangent.
There you go. That's the tangent's the one. It's the one across from the hypotenuse, I think.
I haven't mathed in several decades.
Zome used to talk about math before he was a lizard.
Yeah.
I got a quick Zome story. We probably shouldn't do this, should we?
It depends on the context and how and what direction we're going with this.
It's the one about gravity.
Okay.
You don't remember this?
I vaguely.
We were at band practice and we came into Groove's house and I don't remember what we were talking about, but I can't imagine it was anything relevant.
It was. I think you were we were talking about like weight loss.
Where did Zome get gravity? Like, oh my gosh! Like, so Zome out of nowhere, who's in college at the time, was just like, I can tell you how much what the force of gravity on Earth is. And we're like, okay, what is it? Well, I need to borrow a graphing calculator. what? Groove, do you have a graphing calculator? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't have a graphing calculator. So Groove found a graphing calculator, and at the time we knew what our pull on Earth was. Oh my god, it was just a weird moment of like, don't you have a graphing calculator? I mean,
I know I always carry one on me.
that's right.
I am a graphing calculator.
Your mom was a graphing calculator.
Nice. She might have been. I never met my mother.
So what were we talking about that was a little more? Oh, Groove, you were talking about the band and your experience on the creation of it.
Well, in terms of how I became the drummer.
This is a great story.
Well, I started out in the other band as the bass player.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted to play bass because I thought the bass was awesome. Listen to Geddy Lee and shit like that whenever I was younger. I bought a bass. Then Eclipse and I moved, and our roommate dropped it and pulled the fretboard off of it halfway.
I hate that guy.
Yes.
To be fair, you did fall through the ceiling.
This is true.
We're starting all kinds of stories that we don't have time to tell.
And then eventually, like, we could find guitar players forever. Couldn't find drummers.
Yeah.
So Contra switched to bass.
Yeah.
I switched to drums. Our guitar players failed.
Yep. Both of them. One of them tried to sell me speed.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that time that the chick at that one bar we played thought we brought Molly with us and left it on the
She's the bar owner and she can kind of go get bent. She did. She thought we brought Molly, and the guy who books us was just like, no, I think they're just dorks. I don't think they do drugs or anything like that.
Yep.
He's right. Oh God. So yeah, both of our guitar players failed. You switched to drums. I switched to bass, and then all we could find were drummers.
Yep.
Our band technically had 3 drummers for a while, although one of those drummers played guitar.
Yeah,
it's a little weird because drummers are typically kind of hard to find.
No.
I have a Rolodex I keep of drummers. It's guitar players that are hard to find, and then the guitar players you do find don't want to commit. Like short story, we were practicing the other day and Groove ordered food to be delivered, and there was a guy that came up and delivered the food, and we were jamming, and well, I think the song ended and we were like, what'd you think of the song? He's like, why'd y'all quit playing? It's like, because the song's over. He's like, oh, okay. Y'all got any room for more? And I just looked down. I was like, you don't want to be in this band. just go back to work. It's a whole thing. There's a whole like backstory, costume creation aspect of it. And there's backing tracks and it's a whole thing. And you just go home. You don't want any of this.
Requires a lot of commitment and very little pay.
It absolutely does require a lot of that. We've gotten paid pretty good before.
Another issue we find with guitar players is stylistic issues.
Yeah.
No one plays funk guitar.
No. Nobody. It's such an easy thing to do, and nobody wants to do it.
I mean, it's just because it's rhythm guitar, basically. No one wants to be the rhythm section other than the drummer and the bass player.
Yeah, I know.
They all want to play solos, which I mean, I get.
We could make room for that. I mean, I have to play solos in their stead, but still, like, it's just not a heavy distortion rock kind of sound. It's not. It's more like funky rhythm.
We could eventually find somebody, but I doubt we'll find anybody as dedicated as we've been to this.
We're not going to find anybody here.
In space?
Yeah, in space. That's what I meant. In space, in the 42104 area of space. So there's that for you. Okay, so did you have any more about the creation of the band?
I think that pretty much covers that aspect of what we were talking about today.
All right. What do you want to talk about
now? So there's two more things. The first thing is the news that we haven't announced yet anywhere else. The BG covers BG thing.
Yeah.
It's like the news. Just keep going.
Okay. So this just it. Solar Disco Force is going to be covering another local band from the Bowling Green area. Due to COVID-19, we've decided, along with a group of other bands from the area, to cover each other's music.
Yes.
Captain Dean is supposed to be covering
Captain
us.
Dean! Love Captain Dean. He's my buddy.
I'm sure there's no promises, but he's gonna try his damnedest. But I know he had like a kidney stone or something in the past couple days, so I'm not sure if.
But he passed it.
Great.
Yeah, I read about that. He passed it. He's done.
Like passing an exam.
No, it's much worse.
I'm sure. So I guess that's over, so he can get back to work. But he's also in two bands. So one band is covering somebody else, and his Captain Dean thing is going to be covering us, or is going to try to.
Tell him the song.
Sexy Robo Fantasy is
Sexy Robo Fantasy by Captain Dean.
Captain Dean's going to be covering. And then we are working on a 00 the Rabbit cover. Probably anybody that's listening to this that's fans of ours has probably never heard of them. But they're Bowling Green local band. Don't exist anymore. They've retired. But I think their music's solid, and I know a couple of the members personally, and they're pretty cool guys. So we're gonna do that. Contra's giving a little teaser.
I got it.
But we're going to be releasing that. I think everybody who covered a song is putting it together on a big, compilation album. So it'll probably end up there, and it'll probably end up on our Spotify at some point. But you get to hear about it first here on the podcast.
That's right.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty exciting. We're also working on our next album.
Yes, constantly,
yes. We've got one song pretty much ready to go. We're in the process of recording it right now. We've decided to try something different with this album. We're kind of recording it ourselves and trying to do everything ourselves instead of like paying other people lots of money. Partially due to the COVID-19 thing and us not being able to do live shows, and financially that can get kind of difficult.
We also can pay more attention to the album. Like, it's not like it when you go to a studio, you spend like 8 hours in the studio, and that's all the time you get. It's not like you live in the studio, and if you have an idea right then, you can add it. It's like you have to be thinking about it in all of your off time so you can get as much as you can done in those 8 hours. But if we record our own album, we can literally spend 8 months on it if we want to. If we go 3 months down the road after recording a song and be like, it would be good for that song if we had some tambourine in it, and we could, put tambourine in it, and that would be great. And we'll get more hands-on, more creative, more, just attention given to the album if we do it ourselves.
So this next album is going to be a lot more in-depth. Than our previous two. So I'm, it's going to work in progress. I think that, we've discussed that if we end up having some trouble with it on our end, we'll go the traditional method, kind of master it out or send it out for a mix and a master. But we want it to be all in-house this time. So
that'd be nice.
Yeah. Be a full Solar Disco Force production.
Hey man, we're using the same microphone they used on Thriller.
Great. That's the one you're recording with for this, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that is that. And the last thing that I have for today is we had a question.
We had it to question.
Yep.
Okay.
The question was on our Facebook page, and it was, how did we get our name, Solar Disco Force?
Well, in canon, there was a sun, and there needed some disco that needed forcing.
I don't think that's the canon.
Is there a canon? Is there a canon for how the band was named?
No.
Oh, see, there you go. That's the canon.
Okay. So the real way that this band got its name, Solar Disco Force, I wrote it down on this.
No, Alexa.
What? Why is Alexa doing things?
8:00.
Time
Alexa, stop.
to write music.
No, Alexa, stop. No, Alexa, stop.
So the question prompted me to go into our Facebook Messenger because we used to have one of those before we switched over to Discord.
Yeah.
I had to scroll back all the way to the beginning. This was on June 1st of 2017.
God. That show was only on like the 28th of May. Like that's like literally 3 days later. 3 days after the twerp show.
So the first thing we did was name our band.
Oh God.
So I've got the rough transcript. I wrote down the highlights. So Contra suggested Neutronic Electro Retro Disco, or NERD for short.
Which is taken.
I said, there's already a nerd. It's Pharrell's band. To which you were like, fuck! Then I suggested Funkasaurus Rex. Groove then suggested Galactic Bonesman.
Side note, that actually comes from a Mondo Media YouTube channel from Deep Space 69.
I love Deep Space 69. It's great.
Never heard of it.
It's great.
I have it on my YouTube. I bought the entire series if you want to watch it.
You need to come over and we need to watch it again.
Then Contra suggested Funko-Knots, which is not bad. We got really close to going with that. And then I suggested Bonesaw McGraw and the Space Funko-Knots. And then you were like, you want to be Bonesaw McGraw? I was like, no, I'm just yelling things and seeing what sticks. Then Contra suggested Funk Odyssey, Funk Genesis, and Genesis of the Funko-Knots. Then I suggested Digital Time Force, or DTF.
No. Bad.
We didn't know what we were doing back then.
You're valid.
Whatever.
Side into sex party.
Yeah, short tangent.
You did. I knew who I was going to be like.
I thought we were leaning more Ninja Sex Party, and that's why we wrote butt stuff.
Wise,
no, that is not why we wrote butt stuff. Quit starting stories we can't finish.
And Pelvic Thrust. They were both written like the same day.
No, they weren't. They were written about a week apart. Anyway, go ahead. What's the next one?
And then you suggested in response to Digital Time Force, Digital Time Funk.
I'm just as bad as you are. Damn it.
And then I said Digital Garage Funk, because we practice in a garage.
We do. We still do.
Then you said you liked the Force part, and then said Disco Time Force, Disco Galaxy Force, Electric Solar Party, Disco Standard Time, Electro Solar Party, Turnt Nebular Techno, Funknotic, and Funky Space Conquest. Then I suggested Solar Disco. And then you liked it, but it was too short, and then suggested Solar Disco Club. And then I said Solar Disco After Party, Solar Disco Rave, Solar Disco Jam, Solar Disco Galaxy, Warp Speed Solar Disco, and Solar Disco Fight. And And then you replied, Solar Disco Force.
Your head disappeared.
There you go. It'll do that. But you get to look at the lips. And then we were Solar Disco Force.
So the long and short of it, I came up with Solar Disco, and then you said Force. And then that's basically how our name, that's the band.
It's all gone downhill from there.
I mean, you keep saying that, but it
hasn't. It's really gotten a lot better since we started on a lot of levels.
Trials and tribulation.
That's right.
But that's how we got our name.
Yep, that's it. That's how we got our name. We threw a bunch of words at a wall, a bunch of word spaghetti at a wall, and we saw what stuck to it, and that's what stuck. There you go.
Pretty much.
We could have been Bonesaw McGraw on the Funko-Knots.
We could have been. It's not too late.
It is way too late. It's beyond too late. Oh God. Okay, so we need to talk about road stories. What?
So we could be the Galactic Bonesman.
We could, but it's also way too late for that too. So, okay, so we need to talk about road stories. I don't think we should get into New Orleans in episode 1. I think we should save it for a couple episodes.
I was thinking the first road story could be the first time we ever performed live, and just how that went down.
Okay, so the way I remember it, I know when our first live show was. Mm-hmm. I know the date because you can't forget that date. Our first live show was on Monday for a Tidballs open mic night on September 11th, 2017. Yes, you can't ever forget that. And I know why it was on September 11th. It wasn't because we were thought that was a good idea. It was more like we were practicing, and I was trying to get everybody, I don't know, to be more serious about stuff, ? Because I knew that if we didn't play a show at some point in the future, the band was going to fall apart. We were just going to be one of those bands that practices in the garage and never does anything. And so we had 3 songs most of the way done. And I was like, okay, here's the plan. 4 weeks from today, on that Monday, we're going to go to Tidballs and we're going to play open mic night. And we're bringing all this stuff and we're going to play these 3 songs and people are going to be blown away. And then I looked at the calendar and the calendar said that Monday was September 11th. And I'm like, damn it. Well, still 4 weeks away. We're still going. Here we go. And we geared up and we played it. I heard later that some more people in Bowling Green that weren't there saw it. And through word of mouth, somebody spread the word, dude, you should have gone to this open mic night. There were space people and it was wild. Chick told me the story and Chick was like, oh man, I should have gone. So yeah, we were, there were people with acoustic guitars. There was the woman running that open mic that day.
Oh,
was the old, yeah. What's her name? No, her name's, it's sure. Something like, I can't remember. She has a stage name that has something to do with a bird, but I can't remember what it is. But she's old and she plays the what?
Well, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Man.
So she plays the mandolin and sings country music. And I was like, hey, we brought a drum set. We're gonna set it up and take it down. It's electric. It won't take that long. And she said, okay. And we got dressed and we went up there and she was immediately concerned. Uh-oh, what happened? I don't even know what happened. And lo and behold, we jammed that show out. The thing I remember from that show was it was the first show ever in the boots. Mm. And I didn't know how the boots were built. I didn't build the boots. And so I was out playing and the sock part came off of the heel. And all I know was I was falling. And I was always afraid I was going to fall on stage. I've yet to ever fall on stage. But I'm always afraid of the day it's going to happen. I have a whole lot of backup plans for when I fall on stage. How I'm going to fall on stage and what's going to happen after I fall on stage. But I've never fallen. One of my boots gave out and I just slowly hit the ground. There's video. It's on our YouTube, but we have it unlisted because no one needs to see that. And I hit the ground and I looked down, like, I don't remember if I waited till the song was over. That sounds like me. I probably played out that song. I feel like we were playing Feel Good Inc.
We
I
were.
think that's right.
Yeah. We were playing Feel Good Inc. and I played the rest of the song and I looked down and my boot was in 2 pieces. The other boot was fine, but that boot was in 2 pieces. And I'm like, man, I'm already on stage. I'm already in a purple onesie and I can't see. Screw it. Here we go. And I just jammed out the rest of that show. And I just had that one boot out in front of me, slamming the ground, just having a good time. I did not let that stop me. And that we played our 3 songs, which I don't remember what they are now. Probably Pelvic Thrust, Feel Good Inc., and then something else. Hopefully not Something About Us.
I think it was Something About Us.
No. God, we never play Something About Us anymore. And the last time we played Feel Good Inc. was unfortunately this year.
It was requested though.
It was very requested.
They paid us for it.
They did pay us for it. Wasn't it like $2?
Yeah, it was.
The amount was not disclosed until after the song was over.
I'll pay you $2 to play this song.
It's like that time we got paid $20 to play Journey.
All 3 notes of it.
Okay, we'll get 2 road stories into this one. So we were playing in Louisville, and we were like setting up for the show. Now, we played with another band, and the band that opened for us was another band from Bowling Green that we brought up. And this one drunk guy kept bothering the bass player, and I'm just like, the hell does that guy want? And I just, just kept a note on it. And then we started setting up, and this drunk guy comes up to me, and he's like, hey, y'all know any Journey? And I'm like, no, we really don't know any Journey. Well, can't y'all just play a little Journey?
You don't know Journey?
You can't. We're not that kind of band. We have like a backing track and the whole set, like it's practiced the way we do it every time. We can't just substitute Journey in there. It's not going to work. No, but y'all just can't play a little Journey? No, we can't play any Journey. So I just kind of started ignoring him because I had to set up for the show and I was tuning my bass and whatever. And he goes and bothers Groove Machine. Like, y'all know any Journey? And then Groove starts like, I think Groove, what'd you tell him? Yes.
Yeah.
You're so fired. You're so fired. We don't know any Journey. So the whole time Groove, I'm like doing stuff and Groove comes up. It's like, God, just listen to this song. You can learn the bass part real quick. I was like, I don't want to learn the bass part real quick because we don't play Journey. On and on and on. And finally he came back and he said, I'll pay y'all $20. You play a little Journey. I'll tell you what I can do. We know a little bit of one Journey song and we'll play it. Okay, I'll take it. He put 20. He didn't even offer me, and I said yes. He just put $20 on the keyboard and walked away. And so I came up to the band, and I was like, okay, I know the first 5 measures of any way you want it. Groove, it's just a fill for the last 2 measures.
It's just fucking.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just a fill for the last 2 measures. I can figure out the bass part. We're going to do it during sound check. Just to make $20, and we did. It was just like 3, 2, 1. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. I just went do 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 do. Okay, that's our Journey, and we just took $20. And that guy was mad. He was just like, y'all don't know any Journey. It's like, we played all the Journey we know, man. That's it. That's all we got.
After the show, whenever we were breaking down everything, it's like, can y'all play any AC/DC?
Dude, no, we can't. We're done. And then later, I went up to the other band, the other bass player, and I was like, "Hey, what did that drunk guy keep bothering you about?" He's like, he wanted to know if we could play any Journey. I was like, I knew it, damn Journey guy, shit. Oh my god.
We did try to give him his money back. He did not want it.
You tried to give him his money back. I played Journey, so it was already way more than I wanted to do. Oh my God. Okay, so that's 2 road stories. We could go on all day, but then we wouldn't have much of a podcast after this one episode.
That's true. We've only got a couple years worth of stories.
We get more though. If we ever get back to touring, we have more.
Eventually, someday.
Remember the watermelon truck?
I do.
I think about the watermelon truck every so often. We were driving to New Orleans and we passed a guy in a white pickup truck, and the whole bed was just filled with watermelons. It's almost about to fall out, just overflowing with watermelons. It was so bizarre. It's in Alabama. Yeah. Bump.
I think that was right around the same time in the trip where I tried to open and eat a pre-cooked waffle.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it was.
You're like,
Was
oh,
it-
this is gonna be good. It's a Belgian waffle.
Yeah, it was like this weird pastry treat thing back whenever I was still eating sugar on the regular. But I like opened it and I took a bite, and it was like the most disgusting granular sugar tasting thing that I'd ever had. And I was like,
I tried it as well.
y'all got to try this.
I
Like,
love
what
that
is it
sound-
real good? Like, you just got to try it.
I
And
love
then-
that's the relationship we have of just this is disgusting. You gotta try this. This is bad. I'm like, okay. God
Yep.
forbid.
It was disgusting.
That whole trip was a mess.
Yep. I don't think we'll be going back to New Orleans anytime soon.
Well, if we get somebody that'll pull a crowd that, wants to headline, we can go back. I don't really care.
It's just a long trip. We need to have
It
shows in
is.
between.
Yeah, it was 10 hours.
Food was good though.
The food, that was the best part. That's the biggest reason I wanted to go to New Orleans was the food.
That wasn't the best part.
No, we're not
And we
telling
gotta
any more
save
road
that
stories.
for another time.
Yeah, we especially don't want to break the ice with, bizarro New Orleans stories. No.
Arguably the best tale. We gotta save it for last.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So what do you want to do now?
All right. Well, that basically covers all the things that we were going to talk about this episode.
Okay. Well, then I want to say a couple things. I'm gonna do a little house cleaning.
Okay.
Wow.
Everybody who listened to episode 1, thank you for listening to episode 1.
This one went out to all the Roombas out there.
Yes.
What?
It's that thing we say before the beginning of Sexy Robo Fantasy.
It's a thing you say.
Well, yeah, this next song goes out to all the Roombas out there because it's a song about making love to robots.
Okay.
And Roombas do a lot for people.
I just realized
It's pretty
something
good
funny. I'll
song.
tell you all after the show. But
Okay.
anyway, so little housekeeping. Thanks for listening to the first episode. Don't forget to go to solardiscoforce.com.
That's right. We have a
We
website.
worked really hard on that website. Y'all need to go and check it out and maybe buy stuff because that would be fun.
The whole album is made in part by the letter A and viewers like you.
Indeed.
You're bad at housekeeping.
I
Be
don't
sure to
have a
tune
list
in.
written down.
Be sure to check out the next episode. Thanks y'all for listening. And please send us questions for the show, solardiscoforce@gmail.com.
That's right. Also, be sure to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ding the bell and all that crap that other people say that are more popular than we are.
The standard bullshit.
The big three. The dick and two balls of every YouTube channel.
All right, so I guess that does it for this episode.
It does indeed. Until next time, this has been Solar Disco Force. Play us out, Contra. We can't hear it.
Crap! I can't. Oh, this sucks. Okay, so can y'all hear it now?
Very quietly.
Barely. It's okay. It's too late.
Got it. Not
The moment's gone.
There you go.
Okay.